Hi everyone, so welcome back to my channel and let's start with another question of our Leetcode 75 playlist. Till now we have completed 22 questions and in case you have missed any question, please do watch it on my YouTube channel and let's start with today's question. So we are given a zero indexed n cross n integer matrix grid and we have to return the pairs Ri and Cj such that row of I is equals to column of j. Okay, and a row and column pair is considered equal if they contain the same elements in the same order. Okay, so let's just go for the example. Yeah, so it is 3, 2, 1 and 176 and 277. So if we can see this 277 and this row, third row and second column are equal. Okay, and that's what the answer says. We have one pair that is 3 2 this is 277 and 277, so row 3 and column second. Okay, similar if we can see second example, so we have this 2422 and this 2422. Since this is equal to this, that will be one pair and this again equals to this row, so second pair is row 4 and column 3. And similarly if we can see 3122, okay, 3122, so first row and first column are also equal, so that's equal to three pairs, right? So let's just move to our intuition part. Okay, so let's just build our intuition. Okay, so let's just take an example. We have that 3, 1, 2, 2. Okay, 1, 4, 4, 5, and 2, 4, 2, 2, 2, 4, 2, 2. Okay, we have this matrix, and the answer that says is answer is 3. Okay, so how we have like understood what is this row and this column. Okay, row 1, column 1. Then again we have this is column 3, column 3, and this is row 3. Again we have this row 3, sorry, row 4 and column 3. So column 3 and row 4. So like we have these, so this is 1 1 1, so that counts to 3. So how we can build like our answer and how we can move to it? So if we can see like this is like we have to check if the whole row is equal to basically the whole column. Okay, all the values we have to check. So for the brute force, what we can think of brute force, generally whenever like we have questions related to matrix and like we have to check for like anything comparison between the values in this matrix, generally we use, for brute force we use loops, that is for loop. Okay, so this is general approach that everyone can like start from basic whenever an interviewer asks give a question and ask for you. So for the first answer you can try for this, try for brute force approach. Okay, because this will give you basically motivation and to solve this question and basically how you can approach, how you can build the solution. Okay, so let's just try to do a brute force for the same and then we can do. Okay, so let's just take a small example for this. So we have this array matrix 3 2 1 1 7 6 2 7 7. Okay, so we have this matrix and the answer is only 1 because these are equal. So for the like first, as we discussed, we have to use loops for brute force. So how we can do? first we can try to move on this uh, every column, and we can check with this how to move through row. Okay. Yeah, so we have this example, and generally we use, as we discussed, for loop first. So how we can like start this? We use for loop. So let's just have a for loop from int. So what is the general practice that we do for going on the matrix? It is for first row till n and column from 0 to n column plus plus. Okay, so we will go each by a row, then by column. Okay, using two for loops. Now how we will compare? Okay, so what is this value? This is row is 0, column is 0. This is row is 0. Sorry. Uh, okay, this is row is 1, column is 0, and this is row is 2, column is 0 still. Okay, and similarly, what is this value? 3 to 1. So this is row is 0, column is 0, row is still 0, column is 1. Sorry guys for the interruption. Okay, so this is that, and similarly this is row 0, column 2. So what we are seeing, row is constant here and column is constant here. Okay, in this row is changing and it is column is changing. So we have two for loops. Now for what is changing, like this is same. Let's just say this is r, and here what is changing, column. So this is basically c is constant here and r is constant here. Okay, so I will write with another pen. So column is constant here, c, and here r is constant. Okay, so we have two for loops for r and c. So what is changing? These values which are same for this in the same order. So we will use another for loop for int. Let's just say uh, anything k 0. This is going till last because this is a n cross n matrix. So we'll go till n k plus plus. Now what we'll check, if what is this value, grid of what is this? This is changing. So this is k, this is k and c, right, is equal to grid of this is not changing. So this is r and this is k, right? If this is equal, then let's just do it for not equal. If they are not equal, that means that for this row and column we don't have to check, we can go to another row column. So we will like have one check here, is equal. Okay, and we will mark it as true for initial. If this is condition persist, then we will mark it as okay. So let's just write it like this for like, so it is highlighted. Okay, so if it is persist, then we will check, mark it as false. Okay, and when this for loop exit here, let's just say, what we'll do, we will mark it as check is equal equals to false, right? Now what we'll do, we will skip like this check for this, so we will break. Okay, now it will do for another row, and when like it come out of this, we will have one variable here also. Okay. Okay. So if is equal is false, that means that we cannot compare this row or column currently. So we will break it, else it means that it is true. Okay. What we do in else? What do we have to do? We have to count pairs. Okay. The question is count pairs, right? Now we will have one variable at the initial state. Okay. So it will be like we will have one variable here, int count 0, and in the else statement what we'll do, we will update the counter, count plus plus, and when we come out of this for loop, we will return it, return count. Okay, so this is a brute force approach that anyone can try off as a basic solution for this question whenever this comes in an interview. Okay, since now the time complexity part, that is the main part that comes. So time complexity. So if you see, this is one for loop going till n. Okay. Now in this for loop, for every value, this is going till n. So this is big of n cross n. Again, for each value of column, this k is going till n. So again, n. So what is it? It is big of n cube, right? And space complexity is big of 1, since we are just using this and this, not any other data structure. So big of 1. Okay. Now, since this is big of n cube, let's say n is like around 10 is to power 4. Okay. So big of n square will be, okay, big of n square will be 10 raised to power 8, which is still okay. Not good, which is still okay, which will do. But if it is n cube, that means it is 10 is to power 12, which is not good. So interviewer will surely ask, like he will give the constraints around this, surely ask you to improvise on this time complexity. Okay, so now we will go for the optimal approach for this, right? So how we can improve? Let's just have again this 3 2 1 3 1 2 2 7 7 7, and let's just say this is 4 again 7. Okay, so in this we have how many pairs? So this is, first we see this column 2, and this is row 3, C2 R3. Again, what is this row 2, column 3. So we have 2 pairs total. Now, like what we can do, if we have like this 3 comma 2 comma 1, if you can store this. Okay, let's just try to store it. Let's just have this storage and store it here. Like we have this 3 to 1, because as it is said, the whole row should be equal to the whole column. So let's just say we store this row. Again, we store this 1 7 7 row and 2 7 7 2 7 7. We have the storage. Okay, now we will go for each column, and what we can do, we will try to search it. We will search 3 comma 1 comma 2. If it is present in this, no, we will discard it. Now comes 2 7 7 column 2. We will search it. Yes, we have here, and this is only one, so the pair will be this 2 7 7 7. So we will have our answer 1. Now what we'll do, we will search for last column 177. So 177, we will check it in storage. Yes, we have. So it will pair with this 17 with this. So how much? Again, we have to add 1. Okay, now we return our answer as 2. So we need to store this. Okay, either we can store these columns or either we can store these rows. And then if we store row, if we store row, then we will check for each column, or we can do vice versa. We can store column here and check for each row, right? So let's just have a try run for this example, right? So write an example as 3, 6, 9, 4, 5, then okay, so we will change it to 5, and then it will be 6, 2, and 8. Okay, so this is our matrix. Now we'll store 3, 6, 5. Okay, the whole array will store with a frequency 1. Now again we store 4, 2, 6 as a frequency 1, and we store this 5, 6, 8 as a frequency 1. Now we will go for this 3, 4, 5. If it is present, no, so we'll cross it. 6 to 6 is present, no, we will cross it. 5, 6, 8 is present, yes, it is present. How much is the frequency? 1. So 1 will pair with this, so it will be 1, our answer. Let's just say we have this matrix 13, 13, 13, 13. So this is like 2 cross 2 matrix with all the values are equal. So we store this row 13 comma 13. Again we have this, so we will update the frequency with 2. Now we will go for this column 1. Now we check column 1, this is present in this, yes, with how much frequency? 2. That means there are 2 rows with the same value that this column has. So how many pair it will become? So this is 2. So it will make 2 pairs, right? Again we move to column 2. This is 13, 13. Again we have same value in the store. How much frequency? 2. So it will make 2 pairs. This column will make 2, this column will make 2. So the answer will be 4, right? So frequency also matters here, not just that the array that we store. So we somewhere need to use a storage which will store our value with the frequency, and we know what is it? It is map. Okay, so the pseudocode, let's just write a small pseudocode for it. So the pseudocode will be, we have this grid. Okay, we have this grid, right? This will be a vector of vector. So we will first create a map. So we will use map of vector of int int. Okay, we cannot store in an unordered map. Why? Because there's a reason. Unordered map, and we can note it, unordered map cannot store vector as a key. Okay, unordered map cannot store as a vector. So we will keep a note because this will be important for future purpose, right? So what we'll do, we will create a map. So this will be like ordered map, and what now we'll do, we will go for each row 0 till row n, row plus plus, and this map will store grid of r, and update the frequency. So this will automatically insert if there is zero frequency or update it. So now what we'll do, we have to we'll have one count 0. Now we will go for that for loop. Okay, so it will be for loop for column 0, column is less than n, column plus plus. Now what we'll do, we have to this is our vector, this is our matrix. Okay, this is 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 8 9 10 11. So we already stored these values. How we will this value, how we'll get, we will check if map dot find. If we go for grid, so we have this grid of n cross n. Now we have to do, we have to find the column. This is for finding column. Okay, since we can directly access with row the whole row, but we cannot directly access this column. This is multiple rows with the same column value. So for going till column, we have to provide the row, and this will be our dynamic. So we cannot directly do this, right? Directly find in the map. So what we have to do, we have to create a temporary vector. Okay, and now we will go for row 0 till n. Now we have to add it all the values. Temp dot push back grid of, what is it, this row and the column, right? It will automatically add this whole with a 0 column. Now we have our vector. What we do, we will check if our map dot find, what is it, temporary. If map dot find is not equal to map dot end, that is we have found basically this vector in our map with some frequency. So what it will do, we will add our answer. This is we have to have a count. Okay, we have maintained a count. So count will be, what is it, 1? No. So it will be the value that is in the map. Okay, because in this example we have discussed, right, since the pair was 2, we have to add 2 times. So this will be added. Now whenever we come out of both the loops, we will return our count, right? So this will be a small solution, small pseudocode. Let's just have a time complexity. That is the most important thing. Okay, and space complexity, right? If we see, this is n and this is also n, because we are accessing all the values of grid row. So this will be big of n square, right? And this is one for loop and this is another for loop, and so this will be, okay, big of n square, and this is big of n square, and what is this? This is big of log n. Okay, so the total time complexity here will be big of n square plus log n. Now so write it clearly. So it will be big of n star n plus log n. Okay, so I will write it below so that you cannot confuse with this basically pseudocode. So it will be big of first n square, then big of n star n plus log n. Okay, because this is big of n and this is big of log n. So this is n plus log n and the outside for loop is big of n. So the total will be around, this is n square and it will be big of n square plus n log n, and the like final will be big of n square around. Okay. Okay, so we have the same complexity of big of n square. So let's just move to the coding part to better understand this. Okay, so let's just start the coding part. So first we have to store the size. Now what we have to do, we have to create a map of vector of integer. Okay, this for storing the rows, or we can store the columns, anything, but now we'll store the rows. Okay, right. Now we will go for each row in this map for storing in map. So map will store grid of row, update the frequency. Now what we'll do, we will check for each column if it is in map. Now for each column, what we have to do now? Okay, first we have to create our temporary column. Temp column for each row. Okay, now what we do, we will add in this temp column dot pushback grid of row column, right? Since column will be same for this whole for loop, so we will get our first column. Now what we have to do, we will have to find in map. So map will find temp column. If it is in the map, this statement will return true. So now we have to have one count variable. So now what we'll do, we will update the count with the frequency that is there in the map, because in case there are, like, as we discussed one example, so in that we have to add the frequency, not count plus plus, that is adding one. Now we have to return the count, right? So let's just try running on the example test cases. Okay, sorry, so this is temp call. Okay, it is running fine for this. Let's just try to run it on all example test cases for. Yeah, it is working fine for all example test cases. Let's just try to submit it. Yeah, it is submitted successfully. So thanks everyone for watching. In case you do like this video, please do hit that subscribe button and like this video. And in case you miss any question, please do watch it on my YouTube channel. I've created a curated playlist for this Leetcode 75 and we will complete it together. And in case you have any questions or comments or any other approach, you can share it in the comments. I will totally review it and reply to them. Yeah, thanks everyone.